Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to put a spotlight on a cool company called Tox Tonic. They're making it easy to start up your own injectable business. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So my wife, the lovely Victoria Snee, has been getting Botox for years. She introduced me to it. I'm a fan, but I knew it was taking off when my daughter, 10 years ago, she was something like 22, she furrows her brow and she says, "Daddy, do I need Botox?" And I thought to myself, man, this is going to be a hot industry. If 20-somethings are trying to create wrinkles just to get Botox, it's a thing. Two people who know a lot about that are with Tox Tonic. It's a very cool company. Megan Mescher is in the studio. She's a registered nurse. And then Dr. Rebecca Weiss joins us from the Phoenix area. Ladies, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Very cool. Okay,
Thank you.
Let's start with Dr. Weiss. Dr. Weiss, what is Tox Tonic?
So Tox Tonic is a membership-based branded solution for mid-level providers who want to get into the industry. It's obviously a booming industry, and a lot of folks are looking to get into aesthetic medicine. And really, as medical providers, often many of us don't know where to start with business. So we have essentially made a formula and a brand that people can join, can partner with us at Tox Tonic to open their own aesthetic practice. And we provide a branded membership, a sort of a templated business solution, and they can then take it on their own, which direction they want. But we provide all of the marketing support, business support, a beautiful website that can drive patient business to them, and clinical mentorship. So that's really where I come in as the medical director.
And Megan, let's get you to kind of amplify that, because a person starting out on their own for the first time can make a bunch of mistakes that can put them out of business.
Yes.
So talk about the support that you provide to make sure they're successful.
Yeah, so I think, most practitioners, as Dr. Weiss would attest to, you don't go to school to learn how to be a salesperson and how to market yourself. And it's a big gap, because there, especially in aesthetic and cosmetic medicine and plastic surgery even, you spend all this time and energy and money to learn your craft and learn how to do it really well. But you don't really know how to get started and what it's going to take, what's a business plan, what's a pro forma, how do I, project my budget, what do I need to do for marketing, all of the different things, right? Insurance, what kind of licensure do I need, especially on the nursing and mid-level side. It varies state to state, so it can be very complicated and very confusing for people. And frankly, we don't like change, right? Most of us as human beings don't like change. So the idea of going from working for someone and just kind of clocking in and clocking out and then starting your own business can be really scary and seem very overwhelming. And so our goal is to really empower young, not just young, any really practitioner. In our field, it tends to be more younger women that are looking to get into this, into injectables, and really empower them to say, like, I want to take the money that I'm earning. I don't want to give away my income anymore. I want to do my own thing. And we basically take their hand and walk them through from start to finish. And I would also like to emphasize it's not a franchised model, it's a licensed model. So we're not hog-tying them to, being quote unquote like a prisoner of the franchise. They literally have 3 years that they can learn how to grow their business. And then after that 3 years, if they're ready to move on and do their own thing, they can. But the goal is to really allow them to take advantage of a branded membership-based program that also provides them with a lot of support that they might not get on their own.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up the website because it's a beautiful website. And as we scroll down the website, I want Dr. Weiss to talk about the name. I'm a big fan. I mean, it sounds like a cool speakeasy or something like that. How did you come up with Tox Tonic, Dr. Weiss?
Well, I think it speaks to the fact that that really this is a really tailored down aesthetic model. I don't think you need to be all things to all people. And so you don't have to have a huge overhead with lasers and all of these things. You can, but really what this practice focuses on is tox, neuromodulators like Botox, and tonic injections, so vitamin injections. And that's really at the core of our membership program. And it's kind of a fun, catchy name. It does sort of sound like a hip bar you might go to. And I think that has helped. We have a lot of followers now on social media, and I feel like that name is something that people remember. So even though we were only in our infancy, we started the business a couple of years ago. When I'm out and about and I tell people what I do, they're like, "Oh, Tox Tonic, I've heard of that." So I think that that we did well in choosing our name. So.
No, I applaud you. And your marketing team sent us a bunch of pictures. We're going to put them on the screen. And as we do that, I want Megan to kind of narrate what we're looking at here.
Well, these are just some lovely, lovely patients that we've had that come to us here. And that's in the Scottsdale area at our Tox Tonic there. And I think what this also highlights is that, you don't need a big space to be able to start your own business. I mean, you can tell this is a fairly small area that our practitioner in this specific Tox Tonic uses. So it's a small area where she's able to see all of her patients, get everything done that she wants to do. And mind you, while we do neuromodulators and tonic, our practitioners, our partners, are also able to do other things if they want. So let's say they really love microneedling or they really want to start IV therapies. We welcome for them to be able to bring additional treatments into the practice if they like. But I think the real goal here also is, look, Jeff, if you needed to have your gallbladder taken out, would you go to a doctor who does one gallbladder removal surgery a year?
No.
Probably not, right? So the goal here is when you go see one of our practitioners, you know that neuromodulators, injectables, that's all they do. And they're really good at it. And they can provide consistent, reproducible, great outcomes every time. Some people think, oh, I only want to go see a plastic surgeon, for my neuromodulators or whatever. In some cases, that's, of course, recommended. But I can tell you most plastic surgeons really don't want to do Botox. They don't want to be injecting neurotoxins, right? So they're going to push that off to somebody else. And that person might not be doing that consistently every day. So when I go to get my Botox or filler or whatever it might be, I want to go to somebody that I know does that consistently all day, every day, and does it a lot because I know they're going to be really good at it. And so that was kind of the other premise behind Tox Tonic.
Absolutely. And we've got a before and after page. This is your gallery from your website. We're going to scroll down that because you do a number of different procedures. And Dr. Weiss, I'm told that there's this thing called the Zoom boom where during the pandemic, we're all just looking at ourselves on camera and we got very self-aware. Have you noticed that there's been a spike in business and is your audience getting younger and younger?
Yes and yes. Definitely we noticed after 2020 with the COVID pandemic and everyone being on these types of platforms like Zoom, that the interest in neuromodulators expanded greatly. More I think neuromodulators than dermal fillers, but really all aesthetic procedures seem to have this big boom. And to your point, the patient population is getting younger and younger because of social media, because of things that trend on Instagram and TikTok. And so even my 14-year-old son, I'll find packages showing up at my door for cosmetic, under eye
treatment.
Yeah. I'm like, well, you realize what I do for a living. You don't need to be buying this stuff on Amazon. but my under eye bags, and he was, influenced by someone on TikTok. So I think these young people are seeing these things, and they're starting younger and younger because, again, if they're seeing things at 14, you can imagine by the time they turn 20, they're ready to get started with injectables. So things like injections into the lips, dermal filler, neuromodulator, like your daughter, like you said, I think people are doing these things even for prevention. So they're starting before they even get a wrinkle. They're starting to come in for neuromodulator treatments.
Yeah. And would you agree, Dr. Weiss, that in terms of, starting a little younger, I mean, personally, I started Botox when I was about 32. I'm 76. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm 52 now. So I've been doing Botox for 20 years. And when I first started doing Botox, the idea, everybody was like, oh, you're so young. Why would you want to try that? And that was right when Botox had started. And frankly, the real benefit comes when you do start a little younger. Now, 20 is a little young, in my opinion, but it really varies individually from person to person and their exposure to the sun and all of those things. But neuromodulators, Botox, and those types of things are really preventative. So, the more you do it before the wrinkles set in, the better your result's going to be. If you come and you already have deep wrinkles, Botox will still help, but it's not going to be as significant as it would be if you started when you were a little younger. So we are seeing, that, and for sure that Zoom boom happened. No doubt. People, even me, gosh, you look at yourself on Zoom and you're like, what is that thing on my face right there? You become very hypercritical. So
I think a lot of us notice our tech neck and other things too when we're constantly on our phones. So so that's, I think, an area. I feel like we've started on the face and now we moved down to the neck as well.
And it's gotten really mainstream now. I remember when it first came out, people were joking, oh, if you've got Botox, you can't tell if you're smiling. It's come a long way since it was first introduced to the market, hasn't it, Dr. Weiss?
Well, I think our skill as injectors has gotten better. I think as we're doing more treatments, we are getting better at them. And I think we're learning more about the anatomy of facial muscles and how to better treat patients without making them look fake. And I think that's true for both neuromodulators and dermal fillers. I think we're getting better as a profession. And I think patients want more natural results and we're able to deliver those without, I think what was that? There was a movie where like people were just totally frozen. And that's not the case anymore. I mean, I think probably all of us here on the panel have had some neuromodulator injections, and it shouldn't look like you've had anything done if it's been done right. And to that point, we're really careful about who we partner with. So it's not just that anybody can come and partner with Tox Tonic. We do a really thorough vetting process. And I like to work with all of our injectors to make sure that their skills are up to par. So, I think what is beautiful about this model is that it allows practitioners to really focus on their craft, to get really good at what they're doing and not have to worry about all of the marketing, like how do I start my own website? How do I read these reports, all of these things? We really provide all of that support so they can be laser focused on becoming a better injector.
Outstanding. We're almost out of time, so let's give you both a chance to give a final word. We'll start with Megan and then end with Dr. Weiss.
Yeah, well, I would just love to say we will be launching a website soon called Bevel Up, and that's specifically for practitioners that are interested in potentially starting their own Tox Tonic. So keep an eye out for that. And, we are excited. We're in a really kind of exciting growth phase right now, and we look forward to supporting and empowering anybody that wants to take back their life and start earning money for themselves and not having to earn money for other people.
Outstanding. So. Dr. Weiss, what would you like to add?
Well, as a physician and an entrepreneur myself, I'm really excited about where this is going to go. And I love just empowering people to be a business owner. So, whether that's in aesthetics or whatever kind of business you want, I love working with entrepreneurs and again, as an aesthetic physician, I love teaching. I love, collaborating and teaching. And I feel like we need more of that in this industry. So mentorship for me is a large part of my motivation for having this business.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations on your success, and we'll have to have you guys back again very soon. We're going to end with the website, which is toxandtonic.com. Ladies, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
You bet.
Thanks for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.